It is now 9 a.m., and I'm delighted to welcome all shareholders and observers to this annual general meeting of Zelira Therapeutics Limited. For those that don't know me, I am Osagie Imasogie, Zelira's chairman. The other directors present today are Dr. Oludare Odumosu, our CEO and Managing Director, virtually, Tim Slate, our non-executive director and company secretary, who is in person in Perth. Greg Blake, our executive director, is also attending virtually. And Dr. Donna Gentile O'Donnell, our non-executive director, who's also attending virtually. Also present today is a representative from our auditors, Paul Chadwick, and from our share registry, Computershare. I would ask all those present to note that the shareholders register is available for inspection and that the proxies affecting today's resolutions are tabled and available for inspection. There is a quorum present, and I declare the meeting open. Today's meeting is being held as a hybrid meeting, that is in person and also online via the Computershare meeting platform. This allows shareholders, proxies, and guests who cannot attend in person to attend the meeting virtually. All attendees can watch a live webcast of the meeting. In addition, shareholders and proxies have the ability to ask questions and submit votes. Online attendees can submit questions at any time. To ask a question, if you are here in person, please raise your hand and state your name, and then put your question to me as the chair of the meeting. I may ask the appropriate person to respond to your question. Those online, please select the Q&A icon, type your question into the text box. Once you are finished typing, please hit the send button. Please note that while you can submit online questions from now on, I will not address them until the relevant time in the meeting. Please also note that your questions may be moderated, or if we receive multiple questions on one topic, amalgamated together. To ask a verbal question, please follow the instructions written below the broadcast. Voting today will be conducted by way of a poll on all items of business. I will shortly open voting for all resolutions. For those online, if you are eligible to vote, once voting opens, press the vote icon and all resolutions will be activated with voting options. To cast your vote, simply select one of the options. There is no need to hit a submit or enter button as the vote is automatically recorded. You will receive a vote confirmation notification on your screen. For those present in the room, please complete your poll card as we run through the resolutions. All shareholders, proxies, and attorneys of shareholders will have received a green poll card before entering today's meeting. If you do not have a green poll card and feel that you should, please raise your hand now, and Computershare's staff members will assist you. In accordance with the ASX listing rules, voting on this resolution will be conducted by a poll. For those online, you can change your vote up to and until the time voting is declared closed. I now declare voting open on all items of business. We have not received any apologies. The notice convening this meeting was dated the 20th of October, 2025. And if there are no objections, we will take the notice of meeting as read. All right. Zelira has achieved meaningful progress over the 2025 financial year. We made significant progress with our Hope Autism program, holding a positive pre-IND meeting with the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, and subsequently receiving positive feedback from the FDA, which sets the stage for our investigational new drug submission and the launch of phase 1 clinical trials. We also secured leading patents for Hope 1 and Hope 2, formulations that are targeting autism spectrum disorder. Our initial focus for Hope 1 is for the treatment of irritability in Phelan-McDermott syndrome with a comorbidity with autism spectrum disorder, an ultra-rare condition with a significant unmet medical need. Our clinical advancement during the year was underpinned by significant investment in our Hope SPV. We continue to work on building on the initial $3.25 million that we raised to support our Hope program. At the same time, Zenavol continues to be an important product for our company. We have progressed our efforts to securing a manufacturing partner for both Zenavol and Hope. We entered the financial year 25 with a high level of excitement for the prospects ahead. Our launch, learn, and development strategy ensures that we can accelerate our cannabinoid-based medications with a high degree of confidence, and we look forward to updating you on our progress with both Hope and Zenavol. By the way, I meant we entered the financial year 2026. I would like to introduce our Managing Director and CEO, Dr. Oludare Odumosu. Oludare will provide a more detailed overview of the milestones achieved and key priorities, followed by an opportunity for shareholders to ask questions. Oludare, I'm turning over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good morning to our investors in Australia, and good evening to our US-based investors. As the chairman said, my name is Dr. Oludare Odumosu, Zelira Therapeutics Global MD and CEO. Thank you everyone for joining our annual general meeting. Today, over the course of the next few minutes, I want to speak clearly and confidently about our message, one message in particular, which is Zelira is doing exactly what we said we will do. And we're building a world-class investment value proposition. Next slide, please. This year has been about validating Zelira's operational scale. It has been about strengthening our science, strengthening our regulatory path, and strengthening the foundation that protects and grows our shareholder value. So practically everything I will share to you demonstrates that one thing. That is that at Zelira, we are progressing in a very disciplined, in a very data-driven, in a capital-efficient way. And the results are showing just that, as Mr. Chairman said. So in 2025, we achieved what many companies in our space struggled to do. We moved forward on all of our fronts. Clinically, we published compelling results for our ZLT-L007 study, showing superiority to Lyrica in neuropathy. In addition, this year, we also advanced Hope 1 through our SPV and strengthened its capital foundation. And in addition, we progressed our Zelira capsule platform, essentially scaling it and aligning it with the FDA program. Financially, we managed our balance sheet with minimal dilution. We secured over $1.1 million in R&D refunds, and we secured additional non-dilutive facility into the company. Overall, this year, strategically, we positioned our company as a biotech platform with multiple shots on goal in autism, in neuropathy, in insomnia, in our formulation technology platforms, and several other ways. We are very, very pleased with these results. Next slide, please. Our strategy is very simple and very powerful. Number one, we focus on clinical validation first. We prove, then we scale. Mr. Chairman talked about our launch, learn, and develop strategy. It is basically that. We prove it, then we scale it. Number two, capital efficiency. We protect our shareholder value using very smart non-dilutive funding over the past year. Number three, regulatory alignment. We build everything to global high regulatory standards, such as the TGA requires and the FDA requires. And we follow a very, very clear and achievable pathway. Number four is portfolio diversification. Multiple programs, multiple assets, multiple revenue potentials within our company. And number five, we focus on managing the life cycle of the value that we're creating within the company. That is, we're converting our formulations into pharmaceutical approved dosage formats. We're expanding our IP portfolio, and we're monetizing our technology platforms, specifically our Zelira cannabinoid platform. Next slide, please. Slide 5. So let me begin very specifically with the Hope One program, because as you can tell, this has become, within our clinical program, this has become the heart of our 2025 story. For background, Hope One, this drug, Hope One and Two, were both born from real-world needs, families struggling with autism-related symptoms, children who needed better options. And the data told us that we had something important, something that is potentially special. So fast forward to date, more than 12 million doses of Hope One has been administered legally in Pennsylvania alone. We use that one story alone, but it is approved in other jurisdictions as well. We've seen improvement in symptoms, and we've seen this improvement to be consistent. We've seen it to be meaningful and deeply validating. And then fast forward again, the FDA has responded positively to us to a pre-IND meeting. Strategic interests are getting excited and watching closely. And for the first time, I dare say for the first time, the possibility of an approved therapy for irritability within the PMS subset of the ASD population is potentially within our reach. Next slide, please. So what is this? We've given this summary before, but it's important that I just give a quick overview of the Hope One product profile. This is a proprietary THC and CBD oral solid capsule created based on our Zelira technology. And it to date represents one of the most advanced and clinically validated cannabinoid programs of its kind. Our real-world data set is unmatched. We've shared the results. Our formulation is protected by strong IP. Our clinical program and clinical plan to date is FDA guided and achievable. This is exactly the kind of assets that excites big pharma, and this is the kind of stuff they look for. And it also captures a de-risked, a data-rich, and a well-structured clinical program. You can see why we are excited about advancing this. Very specifically, our launch, learn, and develop model gives us a very unique advantage. This is years of real-world patient data, clear symptoms, improvement in symptoms, optimized dosage selection, and a much smarter way than done before, that gives us more certain or more confidence on our clinical path. Next slide, please. Zelira's FDA program is what we've mapped out in this slide over the next 36 to 48 months. As you can see, we've completed our pre-IND portion. Our program is on a clear path to our IND preparation. As Mr. Chairman said, phase 1 follows immediately after our IND opening. Phase 2 is ready to begin once PK data confirms our model, and phase 3 can begin as early as late 2027. Next slide, please. As you can see, based on the timeline we've presented here, we are targeting NDA submission by the end of 2028 or early 2029. Investors, this is a very realistic FDA-aligned path with strong probability of success. So when you look at this timeline and look at our journey from 2023 all the way through 2029, you can see the discipline in our execution as a company. Every milestone has followed the FDA direction. Every study is designed to maximize regulatory acceptance, and every step materially reduces uncertainty for our investment program. Next slide, please. Why do I say this? It is because we received the FDA's notes, which gave us more confidence in continuing our program and in validating our operational strategy. That is, our PRND meeting confirmed the strength of this program. We share this slide to note that the FDA meeting minutes points to support for our target population, our clinical design, the justifications we've put forth for dose selection, our bridging strategy for our study, and even allowed us the removal of certain studies or compression of certain study components in order to streamline the trial. All of this, so when we speak about the timeline, this is very much within a carefully thought out strategy that we are executing. And this level of engagement from the FDA signals a real opportunity for our company to bring something transformative to the ASD community. Next slide, please. So looking forward, looking ahead to 2026, our priority as a company is focus and high value. Submit our IND and begin phase 1 for our HOPE-1 program. To advance Zenivol, as we've transitioned it from a tincture formulation into a capsule and get it ready for regulatory submission. To scale the findings and the study from our ZLT-L007 study into a formal development program to expand the licensing of our Zerati technology and strengthen our capital structure with minimal dilution to our investors. Next slide, please. In leading Zelira forward, I have the honor of being supported by a highly experienced global board. Our board brings leadership with deep expertise in pharma, in clinical development, capital markets, and regulatory strategy. And this board has deep experience in navigating FDA approvals, product launches, and certainly major exits, and are very, very committed to the work that we're doing and to Zelira's mission and trajectory. So to all of you, our shareholders, I want to say thank you. Personally, your belief, your patience, and your partnership makes this work that I do in leading Zelira very possible. And I want to assure you that we are delivering a very rare combination of scientific credibility within our program, regulatory alignment within our program, a disciplined execution within our program. We're focused on impact, of course, for our ASD population, and we're focused on value creation for our investors. And as I said at the beginning, we're focused on delivering just what we promised. Thank you once again, and I look forward to your questions. And I yield back to Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Dr. Odumosu. The floor is now open for questions and answers that we can provide. So, team, and I presume you guys are managing that. If we get any questions, please let us know.
We haven't received any questions, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. All right. Not having received any questions, we will move on to the formal business of today's meeting. I table for consideration the annual financial report of the company for the financial year ended 30th June of 2025, together with the reports by directors and auditors thereon. Does anyone wish to discuss any aspects of the accounts or have any questions relating to the conduct of the audit by our auditors?
No questions.
All right. Thank you, team. There have been no questions. We will move on to the resolutions. Where entitled, the chairman's proxy votes have been cast in favor of each of the resolutions. So here are the resolutions. Resolution 1, the adoption of remuneration report. To consider and, if thought fit, to pass with or without amendment the following as a non-binding resolution. That for the purposes of section 250R sub 2 of the Corporations Act and for all other purposes, approval is given for the adoption of the remuneration report as contained in the company's annual financial report for the financial year ended 30th June 2025. Proxy votes received for this resolution are detailed on the screen. Is there any discussion on the resolution? And for those who are in the room, please complete your poll card on resolution 1.
No questions.
Thank you, Tim. Resolution 2, the re-election of our director, Mr. Greg Blake. To consider and if thought fit, to pass with or without amendment the following as an ordinary resolution. That for the purpose of clause 15.2 of the Constitution, ASX Listing Rule 14.5, and for all other purposes, Mr. Greg Blake, a director, retires and being eligible is re-elected as a director. Proxy votes received for this resolution are detailed on the screen. Is there any discussion on the resolution?
No questions received.
Thank you, Tim. Please complete your poll card on resolution 2 for those who are in the room. Resolution 3, approval of issue of convertible note to Dr. Oludare Odumosu. To consider and if thought fit, to pass with or without amendment the following as an ordinary resolution. That for the purpose of ASX Listing Rule 10.11 and for all other purposes, approval is given for the company to issue a convertible note to Dr. Oludare Odumosu or his nominee or nominees with a face value of $100,000 on the terms and conditions set out in the explanatory statement. Proxy votes received for this resolution are detailed on the screen. Is there any discussion on the resolution?
No questions received.
Thank you, Tim. For those who are in the room, please complete your poll card on resolution 3. Resolution 4, the approval of issuance of a convertible note to Dr. Donald Gentile O'Donnell. To consider and if thought fit, to pass with or without amendment the following as an ordinary resolution. That for the purposes of ASX Listing Rule 10.11 and for all other purposes, approval is given for the company to issue a convertible note to Dr. Donald Gentile O'Donnell or her nominees or nominee with a face value of $50,000, US dollars on the terms and conditions set out in the explanatory statement. Proxy votes received for this resolution are detailed on the screen. Is there any discussion on the resolution?
No questions received.
Thank you, Tim. Please complete your poll card on resolution 4 for those who are in the room. Resolution 5, the renewal of proportional takeover provisions in the Constitution. To consider and if thought fit, to pass with or without amendment the following as a special resolution. That for the purpose of section 136(2) and 648G of the Corporations Act, and for all other purposes, approval is given for the company to modify its existing constitution by renewing clause 37 for a period of 3 years from the date of approval of this resolution. Proxy votes received for this resolution are detailed on the screen. Are there any questions on this?
No questions received.
Thank you, Tim. For those in the room, please complete your poll card on Resolution 5. Resolution 6, approval to issue securities under an incentive plan. To consider and if thought fit, to pass with or without amendment the following as an ordinary resolution. That for the purpose of Listing Rule 7.2, exception 13B, and for all other purposes, approval is given for the company to issue up to a maximum of 2,379,431 securities under the Employee Incentive Scheme titled Employee Incentive Securities Plan on the terms and conditions set out on the explanatory statement. Proxy votes received for this resolution are detailed on the screen. Is there any discussion or questions, or are there any questions on this resolution?
No questions received.
Thank you, Tim. For those in the room, please complete your poll card on Resolution 6. Resolution 7, approval of 7.1A mandate. To consider and if thought fit to pass with or without amendment the following as a special resolution. That for the purpose of Listing Rule 7.1A and for all other purposes, approval is given for the company to issue up to that number of equity securities equal to 10% of the issued capital of the company at the time of issuance, calculated in accordance with the formula prescribed in Listing Rule 7.1A2, and otherwise on the terms and conditions set out in the explanatory statement. Proxy votes received for this resolution are detailed on the screen. Are there any questions on this resolution?
No questions received.
Thank you, Tim. Please complete your poll card on Resolution 7 for those who are in the room. Resolution 8, the ratification of prior issues of shares under Listing Rule 7.1. To consider and if thought fit to pass with or without amendment the following as an ordinary resolution. That for the purpose of Listing Rule 7.4 and for all other purposes, shareholders ratify the issuance of 550,000 shares to Securities Vault Pty Limited or its nominee or nominees on the terms and conditions set out in the explanatory statement. Proxy votes received for this resolution are detailed on the screen. Are there any questions on this resolution?
No questions.
For those in the room, please complete your poll card on Resolution 8. This concludes the questions section of the meeting. I would like to advise that voting on all resolutions will close shortly. For shareholders in the room, a Computershare staff member will collect your poll cards. Online shareholders, I will provide you with a few moments now to allow you to finish voting. Please complete your voting now. I now declare the poll closed, with the results to be announced to the ASX later today. This concludes the formal part of today's business, and there's no general business to be conducted. Thank you all for your attendance, and I declare the meeting closed at 9:29.